Have you ever met someone who looked perfectly nice, calm, and generous, almost too perfect? They smiled at the right moment, talked with measured elegance, never raised their voice, never lost their temper, and yet something about them made you uncomfortable. You couldn't put your finger on it, but something in your body whispered, "Be careful." What if the actual danger in people is not in those who are transparently cruel, furious, or aggressive, but in those who have no shadow? Before we begin, please let me know where you are watching from. It will be great to feel closer, regardless of how we are physically apart. Also, don't forget to like and comment on how you feel about this topic. Now let's get started. To understand Carl Jung's warning, we have to go back to one of his key ideas, the concept of the persona. The persona is the mask we wear, the representation of ourselves we convey to the world. It helps us operate in society, polite, pleasant, and well-adjusted. But the problem begins when we start believing that the mask is all there is. Because behind the mask resides the unconscious, a landscape vast and wild, home to inclinations, forgotten memories, repressed feelings, and possibly most significantly, the shadow. The shadow is everything we refuse to see in ourselves, the jealousy, the resentment, and the selfishness, but also the wild creativity, the primal instinct, and the unapologetic reality. It's not caused by evil or trauma alone. It's formed by the conflicts between who we are and who we think we're supposed to be. As children, we learn very fast what gets us love and what gets us rejected. Therefore, we mold ourselves. We push down the parts that don't fit. Perhaps we're told that resentment is bad, so we hide it. Perhaps ambition is called arrogance, so we hide it. Perhaps our sensitivity was mocked, so we armored up. But the buried doesn't die. It waits. And as time passes, it starts talking through dreams, anger, addictions, and projections. Not because it wants to hurt us, but because it wants to be seen. Carl Jung warned us, what you do not make conscious will be lived out as fate. In simple terms, the less you know about your own shadow, the more it will control you from behind the scenes. Those who never face their darkness don't become the righteous. They transform into unstoppable forces to themselves. Here's the contradiction: people who think they're all good are the most dangerous because they do not have reflection. They lack self-doubt. They lack the modesty to say, maybe the problem is me. They justify their control as caring, their manipulation as protection, and their harshness as tough love, and they will convince you, and themselves, that they're always on the side of righteousness. But deep behind their moral glow is a darkness bursting at the seams. The instant you challenge them, even gently, you will see the cracks: cold withdrawal, silent punishments, or even worse, passive-aggressive games where you're made to look like the crazy person. They don't break out like toxic people. They erode gradually until you begin to doubt your reality, diminishing your needs and tiptoeing around their demands, all while they keep the mask perfectly polished. You'll hear statements like, "I'm only saying this because I care, everyone says I'm the kindest person, I never get upset. I'm just concerned." But your instinct feels something's off. They've never tried to incorporate. And this is where Jung's wisdom cuts deepest: the danger is not in darkness. The danger is in rejecting it. Someone who says, "Yes, I can be selfish. I can be reactive in nature, and I'm concentrating on it," is far safer than a person who says, "I'm always nice. I never hurt anybody. I'm not like those individuals." Because the person who admits their shadow is in a relationship with it, but the person who denies it, they are controlled by it without even knowing it. Jung believed this refusal to notice the shadow wasn't merely a psychological problem. It was a mental blindness, an unwillingness to go deep, a deadly innocence. And that innocence turns venomous, not because it wants to, but because it has nowhere else to go. All the energy we invest in suppressing our shadow flows out sideways, through resentment, persistent frustration, control, or self-righteousness.